So before we start, you're going to take some measurements. I'll be using a 4mm hook and a medium weight yarn. I prefer using, for this kind of a dress, I prefer if you use a medium weight or lightweight, because if you use chunky and bulky weight, the dress is not going to serve the purpose of being a lighter dress. It's going to be a lot heavier. So I prefer using medium or a lightweight. So this is medium weight yarn. So you're going to take your hip measurement. So when it comes to taking your hip measurement, if you want your dress to be loosely fitting, just measure something almost as loose as this. But then if you want it to be like fitting to your body, you're going to measure it, your exact hip measurement. So this is going to depend on you, if you want it to be fitting or like loosely fitting. So for me, I'm going to take 36 inches, which is not so very fitting, like just fitting enough for my body. I don't know, like just like holding on my body but not as tight. So I'm going to be using 36 inches. So after measuring 36 inches, you're going to divide that by 2, because you're going to make the front panel and the back panel. So for me, my measurement was 36 divided by 2, that is 18. So I'm going to chain until I get 18 inches. So when it comes to making the chain, you're going to make a slip knot first. Insert your hook. If you don't know how to make a slip knot, if you're a beginner, you can check my introduction videos on how to crochet, how to make a slip knot, how to make a magic chain and all that. So after making a slip knot, I'm going to start making my chain. So when we're going to make the chains, you're going to make it differently. You're just not going to chain to 18 inches like that. First, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. After chaining 3, you're going to chain multiples of 5. So after chaining 3, you're going to chain 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 until you get to your own 18 inches. So after chaining 3, you chain 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is our first multiple of 5. You get it? And then 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. You see, that is another multiple of 5. 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Another multiple of 5. That is what I mean. You're going to chain in. After chaining 3, you're going to chain in multiples of 5, 5, 5, 5. And for you to know you are in the right track, your number of chains should either end with a 3 or an 8. So like 13, 78, 63, 218, 333. Like your number of chains should either end with a 3 or an 8 for you to know you're in the right track. So I'm going to chain mine until I'll be able to get to 18 inches. So I made a chain of 78. So you just chain. You chain while you're chaining, you measure. While you're chaining, you do your measurements, so that you don't go past your measurement, or like, you know. So I made a chain of 18, and this is not while stretching. This is just while placing it on the table without stretching it, because yeah, that is almost 18.5, but yeah, without stretching it, because for my dress, I don't want it to, when I put it on, I don't want it to be like stretching. I just want it to like fit without making the stretch, if you're getting what I'm saying. So the number of chains you're going to make is according to your measurements and according to how you want your dress to look. So just figure it out here. So this is my chain of 17. So after chaining 78, I'm going to chain 2 more, 1 and 2. Then I'm going to turn my work. So after that, after turning your work, you're going to skip those two stitches that you added, the 2 chains that you added. You're going to skip 2, and then on the third one, which was the 78th for me, the last one that you did, you're going to put the first double crochet there. To make a double crochet is just yarn over, insert your hook and pull through two, pull through two. That is on the third chain from the hook after you added chain 2. So after doing that one double crochet, you're going to add another double crochet and do double crochets until the end of the row. So one double crochet in each chain until you get to the end of the row. A tip is that if you want your crochet work to look neat, always use the same tension. Like you see the way I've held my yarn like this, just make sure you hold it the same way until the very end. Don't start making it loose, making it tight at some time. The same point you're holding it, make sure you hold it all through. That will make your work look neat, because every stitch will look the same. When it comes to your hook, the same way, the same place you are yarning over, let it be the same place. Don't start yarning over because at some time you might find yourself yarning over from right here. That usually makes a difference, although it's not seen, but after your outfit is done, those are things that you might see because your work won't look so neat. So continue making the double crochets and I'll see you at the end of this row. So I just finished the last double crochet on the last chain. So after that I'm going to chain 2 and then turn my work. So that chain 2 is just a turning chain, so it's not a stitch. So you're going to make your first double crochet from down here. Okay, so you're going to make a total of 3 double crochets first. So your first one from down here, 1, 2 and 3. After making your 3 double crochets, you're going to chain 2, skip 2, and then make another 3 double crochets. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, like that. So 3, chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, skip 2. So like that. 3, chain 2 and skip 2, 3, chain 2, skip 2, 3, chain 2, skip 2, until you get to the end of this row. And then another tip, so that your yarn is not tightly placed, so that you don't place your stitches so tightly, always make sure for your yarn there's always some yarn that is left loose, so that when you're crocheting you don't have to pull so tightly. You don't have to pull so tightly because some of the yarn haven't come out, so you end up pulling it so tightly. That makes some of the stitches look so tight than others. So always make sure there's always some yarn hanging somewhere. Yeah. So make sure your stitches are placed correctly. You don't skip more than 2, because when you skip more or skip less, it's going to affect how your chain will look at the very end. So after that, I do my last double crochet on top here, like that. Okay, so after I'm done with the last 3 double crochets, I'm going, so when it comes to the end, before I do that, when it comes to the end, when you'll be working on your rows, you'll notice that some rows will end with a space and some rows will end with 3 double crochets. Most probably when you're doing the next row after this is going to end with a space. Let me bring another sample I show you. So when you look at this one, on this row we ended with 3 double crochets, on this row we ended with a space, on this row 3, on this row a space. So on the next row we'll be ending with a space, the next row like that. That is what I mean. So on the row that you're ending with 3 double crochets, you're going to make a space first. Okay, you're going to make a space. You see the way a space has a double crochet and a chain 2, you're going to make that. So to make the space, you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to again chain 2 for the chain 2, space chain 2. So that is space and then chain 2, you chain another 2. So that means every time you end with 3 double crochets, you're going to chain 4. Anytime you end with 3 double crochets, you're going to chain 4 and turn your work, just to create that space on top of it. And then after that, you're going to make the 3 double crochets on this chain space, on the chain space like that. So 3 double crochets on the chain space, and then after that you're going to chain 2, skip the 3 double crochets, and then do 3 double crochets on the chain space. 1, 2, and 3, and then chain 2. So as always is 3 double crochets, chain 2. So you are going to do the 3 double crochets on the chain space, and then chain 2. Like that until the end of the row. So after you make your last or your second last space, after you make the 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, because there's no other space on this side, you're going to first chain 2. After chaining 2, you're going to place 1 double crochet on top of the last stitch, just to create the space, to cover the space and to create the space. So you're going to make the last double crochet here, just to create a space like that. You see, you've created this space. And then now that when you are turning and you see you have a space, you're going to work on the space. And because you're going to work on the space, you're going to first start by chaining 2. Okay, so when you're working on 3 double crochets, after the 3 double crochets, if that is your last stitch, you are chaining 4. But then if the last one is a space, you are chaining 2. So chain 2, and then turn your work, and then you're going to work 3 double crochets inside the chain space. So the chain 2 is not a stitch. 2 and 3. Okay, so after working the 3 double crochets in the chain space, you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to skip this and then work again 3 double crochets in the chain space. So you're just going to work like this until the end of the row. So for this row, when you get to the end of this row, because you have a space, you're going to work 3 double crochets, and then after working 3 double crochets, because it's a 3 double crochet row, you're going to chain 4. Okay, I'll meet you when I get to the end of this row. So after I've done the last chain 2 and skip this bunch of 3 double crochets, now in this last space I'm going to work 3 double crochets. And so I said just to make it simpler for you, so that you just don't think about it a lot. After you've done 3 double crochets, you chain 4. After I've done this space, you chain 2. So this is 3 double crochets, so you're going to chain 3 and 4 to create the space. When you turn your work, just as we did on the second row, when you turn your work, you're going to work the 3 double crochets in the chain space. So you're just going to repeat these 2 rows until you get your desired height. You can work the height however you want. You can work from shoulder to knee, from your shoulder to down on your ankle. So just measure your desired length and then work this until you get your desired length. So to get the one that I have, you're going to measure from your shoulder to your ankle, like almost covering your feet. If you want it to be even longer enough, you can make it 2 more inches until it covers your feet. So this is all going to depend on you. Even if you want it shorter, like above your knee, you can make it. Just take your measurement from your shoulder to where you want the dress to get. So for me, I'm going to work these repeat rows while changing colors. Just go and be creative with it however you want. You can change colors after every 5 rows. You can even change color after every row if you're that patient, but this is going to take you a lot of, but be as creative as you want. You can use one color for the entire dress. You can even make the front panel a different color, the back panel a different color, and even the sleeves different color. Or you can work one color in the front and back panel, and then the sleeves you use a different color. Or you can just make like half of the dress one color and half of the dress another color. Like, be as creative as you can. That is the beauty of crochet, is you don't have to follow everything about the tutorial. You just use the tutorial to know how to do it, and then after that you'll unleash your creativity and be as creative as you can. So the one that I'm making so how many rows did I do? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. I did 16 rows. After doing 16 rows, I changed color, and I'll be doing this darker color on the bottom of it, and then now from this point hence I'll just be working one color. So let me just measure, because some people usually just want the specific one that you've done. So for the sake of that, this is 10 inches. So this color I did 10 inches. Those one, the specific ones, yeah. So when it comes to changing color is so easy. When you get to the end of the row, let me just use this as an example, now that you're going to change color here. When you get to the end of the row and you want to change color, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook. So after pulling through 2 the first time, when it comes to pulling through 2 the second time, this is when you're going to change your color. So for example, if I use this yarn here, now this is the point where I'm going to insert this one here. So I'm going to pull through 2 right here. That is how you change your color, and then you chain. If you're supposed to chain 2 or you're supposed to chain 4, you chain 4, and then you continue. For those who don't know how to change color, or you can even look for other videos that will clearly show you how to change color. Okay, yeah. So just be creative about it. I'm going to do the back panel. So the back panel, there's no increasing or decreasing in the top. For the back panel, we're just going to work a solid rectangle. Okay, You're just going to work from the bottom to the top, from your shoulder to your knee, or from your shoulder to your ankle, without doing any increases or decreases for the back panel. So when it comes to the front panel, so when I get to the point where I'm supposed to decrease for the front panel, I'm going to show you. So just work your back panel first from your shoulder to where you want it to be. When you're working the front panel, you'll come back to this video and I'll show you how to decrease on the neck area. So I'll see you when I'm done with the back panel. I'll just show you how it looks before I start working on the front panel. I'll just show you how the back panel looks. So I'm going to work a total of 54 inches for this back panel here. So I finished the back panel, so this is 54 inches. So you're going to work the front panel the same exact way, but then you're going to leave 6 inches at the top because we're going to work a V neck for the collar. So you're going to leave about 6 inches at the top. So after finishing the back panel to a desired length, work on the front panel until you have 6 inches left. So I finished working on the front panel. So I worked a total of 48 inches and now I have 6 inches left to get to 54 inches. So I'm just going to work a little V here and then work on the collar. So to do the V, you're going to find the length. You're going to find the length from here to here. After finding this length, you're going to minus 4 inches because the neck area we're going to do the collar is about 4 inches. So find length here to here. So for me, from here to here is let me measure that. So from here to here is 18 inches, minus 4 is 14. So 7 inches on one side, 7 inches on one side. So you're going to work 7 inches up. So I have 9 rows remaining. So I'm going to work the 7 inches, 9 rows up. I'm going to work the 9 rows. So I'm going to work the first 7 inches. And I'm going to finish the 9 rows until I'm able to get here, and then work the other 9 inches up to the what did I say? The other 7 inches, and then work the 9 rows up, and then I will remain with a space here for 4 inches, whereby I'm going to work the collar. So do that, and then we'll meet at the end of this video. So have 4 inches in the middle, then work on both sides up to the number of rows until it gets where the back panel is, and then I'll meet you after that so that you can work the collar area. So I already worked one side. I'm going to work the other side. So what I did, these are 7 spaces. That makes 7 inches on this side, and then I'm going to work the other 7 spaces on this side. Then I'm going to be left with this middle part where I'm going to work the collar. So just work here the same way we're working the other rows. When you get to the end of a row that has the 3 double crochets, you start with your chain 4. When you have a row that has a space, you start with the chain 2. The same way we're working the other rows is the same way we're going to work these 9 rows or whatever number of rows your outfit has. And then after that, when you're starting the other row, because you are moving towards this side, when you're starting the other row, you're going to start from the inside going towards the outside of the dress. So you're just going to move like this and also do the same number of rows. It's just as simple as that. There's nothing complicated. So because there's no increasing and decreasing, just straight lines, work this side and the other side, and then be left with the middle part, and then we'll come and join the 2 panels together and work on the collar. So when working on this other side, because I'll be starting with a space, I'll work chain 3 and then do 3 double crochets in this space. So for those maybe will find it hard when starting to work on the other side, when you're starting with the space, because I was doing 7 spaces, when you're starting with the space, just chain 3, work 3 double crochets inside, and then continue doing the same thing in the other spaces. And when you get to the end, if it's you work 3 double crochets in this space, you're going to chain 4, turn, and then work the same way. So you're going to place them together with the right sides of the dresses facing each other like that, and then you're going to leave a space of about 7 inches So I'm just going to determine how many clusters make 7 inches. That is 1 2 3 4 5 6 clusters. So in total I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. I have a total of 16 clusters. So I'm going to minus the 6. That means I'm going to be left with 5 clusters on this side and 5 clusters on this side. If you have if you are left with an odd number, you can always add 1 extra number in the middle so that you have even numbers on both sides. So 1 2 3 4 5 on this side, 1 2 3 4 5 on this side. So I'm going to join my top with the 5 clusters on this side, and then I also join the 5 clusters on this side. That is just it. And then after that I'll work on the collar. So to join, I'm going to use slip stitches. You can also use single crochets.
Mommy.
So what you do, you hold the first cluster against the first one in the back, and then you hold this one against the other one. So make sure the clusters are like holding each other like that, you see, and also the spaces are like that, you see. And then you just make your slip stitches. This is so that it appears clean. So you just do 1 slip stitch in every stitch. Like that until I get to the 5th one. When you get to the spaces, don't forget the chain 2. So you just place your hook on the top like that. And then on the second one, and then you continue. So this is my 5th cluster. And then on the last space I can just finish the single crochet, chain 1 like that, and then I cut my yarn. So I did 1 2 3 4 5 clusters, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. When you're done with joining, you'll have this front part like about 2 clusters or 3, depending with how big or small your crochet hook is. So you're going to be left with some of the clusters left like this, you see. So after that you're going to do 1 single crochet all around the collar area. So from here round like that, you go down here like that, come up here. The reason as why I want to do 1 single crochet all around is so that whenever I'm doing my collar, I need to have like clear stitches, clear chains for me to be able to work on the collar. So when you get to this point where you have the clusters, you do like 2 single crochet in the cluster, 2 single crochet in the chain space. So 2 single crochet in the cluster and 2 single crochet in the chain space. On the areas where the chain is clear, you just do 1 single crochet all around like that. So I'll meet you when you're done with doing 1 single crochet all around so that you can work on the collar. So I'll be using a different color for the collar, but then when it comes to making the single crochets, I'm just going to use the same color. So right here in the spaces we have 2 single crochets, And then here the cluster, these are 3 double crochets, so 3 single crochets. When you get to the corner, you are going to do 1 single crochet, chain 1, and again 1 single crochet in the same space just to make that corner. And then when you're going down, you're going to do 2 single crochets in every cluster and 2 single crochets in every space, like that.
Mommy, yeah.
So when you're making the collar, because the length here was 4 inches, I'm going to leave 1 inch. So whichever length you have here, leave 1 inch so that the flaps overlap each other like this. So you're going to make 3 inches on this side and then 3 inches on this side so that the flaps overlap like this. So you're going to start making that. So this was 4, so 3 is about here where the space is. I'm going to leave this cluster, so in the middle of this space I'm going to work that first flap. So you're going to attach your yarn with a chain 1, and then I'm going to work with single crochets in the collar. So I'm just going to do 1 single crochet until I get to the very first corner over there. When you get to the corner, you're going to slip stitch for the first 2 stitches. You're going to make a slip stitch. So you're going to make 2 slip stitches. So that is the first slip stitch and then the second slip stitch, and then you turn your work. And then you're going to skip the 2 slip stitches, and then on that last single crochet you're going to do another single crochet again until the very end. When you get to the last single crochet, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then again you work 1 single crochet all the way.
Mom.
And then when you do the last single crochet, you're going to go to the next 2 stitches and make 2 slip stitches. So that is the first slip stitch and then the second slip stitch again. So what you'll be doing is making a slip stitch on this side, and then you go single crochet and get to the very end, you turn again. So maybe for those who will be asking how many single crochets I did, let's see, because I did not actually count them, but then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that is just what you're going to do until you get to the top corner, like to where there's a tip up there, until you get there. So you're just going to do chain 1, you do single crochets. When you get here, slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, and then single crochets. When you get there, slip stitch like that until you get to that. I'll meet you when you get to that top corner. So I finished to the top. I'm just going to do single crochets at the edge to give it a clean finish, and that's it. And then I'm going to work on the other side, so I'll let you know how I'll do the other side. So it's just attaching here and doing the same number of stitches until we are able to like overlap on this side here. So I just give this a clean finish with doing single crochets in every stitch. To do the same thing on this side. You're going to attach your yarn the very first double crochet. After attaching your yarn, you're going to do 1 single crochet. So on this side we did 10, so you're also going to do 10 single crochets. So that is 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you get to this other side, just do it on top like this. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Chain 1 and turn your work. And then when you get to the other side, as we did on that other side, you're just going to make 2 slip stitches and then turn your work, and then just continue doing that until you're able to get the same height as the other side. So chain 1 and chain 2, turn your work, keep those 2 chains, 2 slip stitches I mean, and then you're going to do single crochets again. So just do that until you're able to get the same height as the other side, and then you're going to work on the top part of the collar. So when you're done with the front part, when it comes to working on the top part of the collar, we're going to make a chain which is almost double this. So this was 3 inches and it was 10, so you're going to make a chain of 20, double that. So the chain of 20, we're going to chain right here, and then you're going to go all round. Okay, so let's do that. Going to attach your yarn.
Mom.
Yes.
What is it?
So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then you're going to chain one extra just to as a chain one for you to turn, and then you're going to skip that extra chain, and then you do one single crochet in every chain. In every chain space you're going to do one single crochet until you get to the very end, and then I'm going to show you how you attach, which is just basically the same way you're doing the other one. So when you get to the very end, what you're going to do, you're going to slip stitch twice, just as we did the other round. You're going to slip stitch twice as you go all round. So first slip stitch and the second slip stitch. Turn your work, skip the slip stitches, and then on that last single crochet you're going again to do one single crochet to the very end like that. So basically that is just it. That is just what you're going to do. You're going to work up, down, slip stitch, up, down, slip stitch twice, up, down, while you're going like that. You see, you do the back side, you do this side until you finish right here. So just do that, and then I'll meet you when you're done right here. So now you're going to turn the dress inside out so that we can attach the two panels together. So turn it inside out like that, and then depending on the colors you're using, even if you're using multi-colors, make sure you're using the same color to attach. So I'm going to attach from the bottom. If you'd like, you can leave like a slit. You can leave maybe the bottom part, or maybe from the hip you can just leave it hanging, or you just attach the entire thing. This all depends on how you'd like to style it. So for me, I'm going to style either from, I was thinking of styling it from the bottom, but again I'm thinking of leaving a little slit here. Maybe I start styling it from where the beige is, so that I can leave a little slit just to bring a little bit of character. Yeah, I think that can work. And then I'm going to connect and leave, make sure you leave the arm area or the sleeve area. Don't forget about that. Don't go ahead and like attach the entire thing. Yeah, so I'm going to leave about 8 inches from the shoulder to your underarm. I'm going to leave 8 inches. If you're not sure of how many inches to leave, you can take one of your top or like dresses and measure from the shoulder to your underarm, and then you can leave that much. So I'm going to leave 8 inches, and then I'm going to attach. So when it comes to attaching it, I'm going to attach my yarn from there, chain one, so what you're going to do is you're going to do 2 slip stitch in the clusters, 2 slip stitch in the spaces, or you can use single crochet. If you find slip stitches hard to do, because when it comes to the spaces you really have to like go through all this, so if you find single slip stitches hard, you can still use single crochets. It's still gonna work. Like that. And single crochets are a little bit faster too. You see, you can use single crochets, you can use slip stitches, depending on how you'd like it to be. When it comes to using a slip stitch, like that. So yeah, join both sides and leave space for your sleeve. Join both sides, and then I'll meet you when I'll be working on the sleeve. I'm finally done attaching the two panels. So when it comes to the sleeve, you can make it to whichever length you want. You can make it to be a long sleeve, like up to your wrist. You can make it to be a short sleeve up to your elbow. So the one I'll be doing is just it's like sleeveless, but then it won't be really short because it will reach up to your shoulder. So I don't want to add any sleeves that are hanging, but then you can do that. When you want to add your sleeves, in every space you're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2 in every space going around, and then when you get to the underarm area, you'll be reducing by 1 cluster as you go. If you want it to be a short sleeve that when you get to the end of it, it's a little bit smaller than here. And also you can just make it the same length. You can do a long sleeve, and then when you get to the wrist area, you make bell sleeves. Like, you can be as creative as you want. Like, don't surely just let it be that you make exact things as the tutorials. Be creative more than what you've seen in the tutorial. So what I'm going to do is just to define the edge and make it look neat. So I'm going to do single crochets all round. So just as we did 2 single crochets in the clusters, 2 single crochets in the spaces, all round, just for the for it to look neat. So after I'm done doing that, that's when I'm going to work on that edge. Let me just call it an edge because it's not even a sleeve. So 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 I'm done with the single crochets. So now I'm going to start doing that edge. So find the point from the underarm, that is where you're going to attach your yarn, so that whenever you like join those two parts, like it will be on the underarm, so it won't be seen. So from the underarm, chain 1, and then depending on how like thick you want it to be, like I don't want mine to be like very big, so I'll just be doing a length of chain 5. You can do like maybe up to chain 10, like depending on how thick you want it to be. So I'm going to chain 5. After chaining 5, I'm going to chain 1 more just for me to turn, and then I'm going to do 1 single crochet until the very end. So that is going to be 5 single crochet. The chain 1 that I did was just to attach the yarn, so I'm not going to do single crochet on that chain 1. And then after that, the same way we are doing the other parts, you're just going to slip stitch in the next stitch, and then you slip stitch again in the next one, like that, and then turn your work. So now we're not going to work through both like the front and the back loop. You're just going to work on the back loop only. So on the back loop only, you do single crochets again. 3, 4, and then on the last stitch you work through both loops. The last one, chain 1, turn your work, on the back loop only you do your single crochet. In the next stitch, you make a slip stitch, 2 slip stitches like that, turn your work. So that is just it. You're just going to repeat that until you get, so this is the underarm here, so you're just going to go around like that until you come back to the same point. So I'll meet you when I get here. So I'm almost done. This was the last row, so I'm just going to make a slip stitch like that, and then to join, because this is the right side and I want to join on the wrong side, I'm just going to hold the 2 parts like this and then join from the inside, just with a slip stitch, as simple as 1 slip stitch in each stitch. For the last slip stitch, chain 1. So if you like, you might leave it like this, but then you can also work 1 single crochet all around. So in every row, because now you're at the top here, 1 single crochet in every row all around, just to bring it a clean finish. Now when it comes to crochet pieces, the finishing makes your piece look better. Like the way a product has been finished neatly is what will make that item to look more professional and to look more neat. So always take your time to do the perfect finishings in every item you're making. So I'm just going to go all around until I come back to the same point, and then slip stitch and cut my yarn. And then after that, I'll just tie in all the loose ends, and I think I'm done. You can add any other detail that you wish, and that is just it. So I'm going to show you how it looks after I'm done with the finishings and the tying of the loose ends. Yeah.